Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to The Huddle, the Review.com's weekly sports show. I'm Rob Toter, joined as always by Jeff Supanik. And the Mount Union Purple Raiders are 12-0 and in the NCAA Division III football quarterfinals. This coming Saturday at noon, they'll play host to Frostburg State. But before we get to that game, let's talk a little bit, Jeff, about last week's win over Case Western Reserve, an anticipated matchup of two undefeated teams coming off shutout victories. And the final score may not indicate, Mount Union, depending on your point of view, either dominated the game or Case Western Reserve was in it until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, they were up 21-0 Mount Union. I think it took Case a while to adjust to Mount Union's speed and skill, and I think ultimately, you fall behind Mount Union 21-0. That's a tall mountain to overcome, and they were just, lights out, side to side, up and down. They were the better football team. They had more players than Case did, and Case had a very good football team. They made some plays that kind of kept the score close, so they had the feeling they were in it. But me personally, I never got that sense that there was a fear. You get up 21-0 in a playoff game, you got to feel pretty good, especially at home.
Yeah. Well, this week Mount Union plays host to Frostburg State, as we mentioned, a school out of Maryland that plays in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. I'm going to let you determine the sanity behind that. But Frostburg State comes in with an 11-1 record. What's the scouting report on that team?
State school, they have some athletes, some size on there. They've been very impressive in their two playoff wins. They went to Wittenberg, beat them 35-7. They were undefeated. Went to Washington and Jefferson, won 46-23. Really strengthened those two games with their running attack. And, I give the coaching staff credit. They actually, Frostburg State, might have the play of the postseason so far. In that Wittenberg game, they were up 20-7 third quarter on their own 7. Called for a fake punt, took it 93 yards. You think 27-7 versus potentially 20-14, and that just swung that whole game around. So I think that's something maybe Mount Union's got to be wary of. Are they going to punt it when they're lined up to, or are they going to call for some trickery at any point on the field?
So really the key, I think, is in any playoff game is getting control early. Again, if Mount Union jumps out to a big lead, that completely changes a game plan. We've talked about this before, where teams that know Mount Union, know their reputation, sometimes coach themselves right out of a game, even if Mount Union gets out to a big lead, because they abandon what they came in and what their strength is.
Yeah, and I think to a degree maybe Case did it. They had a good drive going on that first part of the game, got to about the 35. It was fourth down. They had some indecision whether to maybe try a long field goal, go for it, or punt. They ended up going for it, got stopped. Mount Union goes down 7-0, then get the tip ball, 14. So I think maybe even, me personally, I think if you're on the 35, punt it, even 15 yards is 15 yards. If it goes in the end zone, give them start at the 20. So I think you're right. It's going to be interesting. I've always been intrigued the first time Mount Union played the team, how that team reacts to playing them, because it seems like there's more adjustments need to be made to Mount Union than Mount Union adjusting to the other team. And, they've had good success. This will be the 41st first-time opponent they've played since they've been in the playoffs. So they've only lost 3 of the first 40. So typically they have success. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Saturday.
All right, well, make sure you check out the Review.com and the Alliance Review all week. Jeff will have previews of this game and much more. And, of course, coverage throughout the game on Saturday afternoon and on the Review.com on Saturday. And then, of course, in Monday's Alliance Review, he'll have a recap of the game and hopefully a look forward to the national semifinals. So until next time, for Jeff, this is Rob. We'll talk to you then.